All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our NXT review. We also had our AEW Dynamite preview. We also talked about 7 superstars who could possibly land in AEW, and then we talked about Oba Femi's future within NXT, maybe Monday Night Raw, maybe SmackDown. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into our Wednesday's weekly wrestling news. Just to remind you guys that Oba Femi is super badass, super cool. He's a dog. All right, I don't want, moving on from that. Raquel Rodriguez has provided some positive update about her treatment from MCAS. She said her skin feels, better than it has in months, which is great. I can't wait for Raquel Rodriguez to come back to the WWE. When she left, it was a little impromptu. She was in that Elimination Chamber match. She has a lot of history with Liv Morgan. They were tag team champions, I believe. So it'd be huge for her to come back. Definitely to help out Liv Morgan. I had a segment where I talked about potential superstars that could debut on this new Judgment Day faction, which is kind of crazy. I heard WWE recently trademarked I forgot the name, but I feel like if you don't have Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, it's not really the Judgment Day. I think it's kind of a lost cause there. So if Raquel Rodriguez comes back, she's a powerhouse. She's an amazing superstar. She puts over superstars inside the ring. She was the former NXT a women's world champion. I would love to see Raquel Rodriguez come back, and obviously waiting on pins and needles because that's how damn good she was. All right, next we have CM Punk makes an appearance at a Rancid concert. Definitely love that. CM Punk, does he listen to punk rock music? Probably. This whole persona had to kind of stem from somewhere. Like you have, Darby Allin from AEW. He grew up listening to, punk rock music, and obviously, Gigi Allen was a huge, he loved his music, which is kind of crazy because, I remember why listening to, mostly because I blame my brother for kind of getting me into the Exploited, the Misfits, and the Angry Son, not the Angry Son, no, not. It's so crazy when I had that tag team tournament about finding out who's the best tag team. I would always confuse the Angry Samoans with the Wild Samoans because Angry Samoans is a punk rock band that my brother would listen to all the time. I remember also listening to CKY, Circle Jerks, a couple other just bands that I think nowadays if that music kind of came out today, it would kind of end up in the gutter because a lot of people would be like, "What the hell is this?" Like a lot of cool, definitely an error. Definitely an error. I know the punk rock it started with the Sex Pistols and also the Ramones, and then I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, but it is what it is. But it was so cool. I love the fact that CM Punk still goes out. I recently saw that Ava, the general manager of the NXT, was at a Slipknot concert. I follow her on Instagram. So I saw that she was actually like backstage up in the dude. I was like, dude, that's badass. That's so cool. I haven't been to a concert in so damn long. It's crazy. I think I'm too old. Is there such a thing as too old for going to a concert? Let me know in the chat if you feel like, if I know when I do go to concerts, there's still people like that are kind of old as hell that still go to their like 50, 60-year old, and that's not even that old nowadays. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Love the fact that CM Punk was out there. Love that he's repping, he's supporting his supporting his type of music. Definitely respect that. Next, Billy Starks, the former Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion, the inaugural champion, I think it was. Yes or no. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I think she was, not too sure. But she's injured. She's injured, and it, kind of sucks. It forced her to withdraw from a competition that she was going to be in. You recently saw her drop the belt to Red Velvet at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, which kind of makes a little sense. I don't know if she was injured during the match. I did see highlights of the match, and she looked fine. She looked like she was, still doing her thing. But I don't know. Maybe this could have been a way for her losing the championship. Maybe in reality, before before she announced her injury with Ring of Honor officials. Maybe Queen Aminata was the one that was going to defeat Athena, and maybe Billy Starks holding on to the championship, causing a feud between them two. But I thought they were going to feud eventually. I did 1,010%. Especially going to be taking some time away. Obviously, injuries suck, man. It's crazy. Like you never know when they're going to happen. Your body sometimes tells you that you can't do things anymore. And Billy Starks, she's young. She's still young. Obviously, she's gonna bounce back pretty quick. Definitely see her bouncing back though. Maybe like as a baby face persona. Maybe her, coming back and telling Athena, "You treated me like, like stuff, like the you treated me like crap." And I stood by your side. I want to dethrone you. I want that Ring of Honor World Champion. I want to dethrone this historic reign that you have going. So that could possibly be a way for her to kind of come back. I think that'd be pretty cool. Ronda Rousey said in an interview that she admits that she wished she had wrestled under the Triple H era. And it's no surprise. It's no surprise from what Ronda said about WWE creative kind of, focusing more on the men's matches when she was there and maybe giving only like 5 minute a thought process to the women's division. No, that sucks. That sucks 1,010%. That's terrible. And Ronda Rousey, I'm not the biggest Ronda Rousey guy. I got to be honest. And with all due respect, I respect her as an athlete. She's having her second kid. Godspeed to you. I hope it's a successful, healthy, natural. But whatever, I'm a father of three, and kids they do kind of change. They do kind of change you. Ronda Rousey coming back to the WWE. I think it's more likely than not. Definitely, under the Paul Levesque era, you give Ronda Rousey, after she gives birth, probably, like 6 months to a year to, kind of get. I can see her coming back in 2000 and like late 2025, 2026. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think they should do it right this time. I don't think they should, just because she's this big name, former UFC star, comes to the WWE. She's got to start in NXT. She has to start in NXT. Because in NXT, you kind of learn from there. You had Shayna Baszler starting NXT, and she's great. You have Lola Vice starting in NXT. When she makes it up to the main roster, she's going to be amazing. When you had Ronda Rousey make it up, debuting, I think it was after Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble. Don't quote me on that. Maybe. I think it was. I'm not too sure. But she just was rough. She was rough around the edges. She missed her spot. One of the most dangerous women inside the ring. And by dangerous, I mean potentially, hurting coworkers, hurting fellow women superstars. In that case, yeah, she's the most dangerous woman in WWE. No, I'm just kidding. But kind of not, sort of, not sort of, you know what I mean? But I just think they need to do it right. They need to do it better. And, by all means, that's not Ronda's fault. What if Ronda was like, hey, the women need more training. Like, I need more training. Put me in the ring. Put me with somebody. And the WWE was like, no, you're good. Go out there. Once when your music hits, like, no, people aren't going to watch you inside. Like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, a little uneasy, but I don't know. Also in the women's division, we have Dakota Kai tearing a meniscus. She, recently missed 10 months due to an ACL tear. Talk about a girl with some crazy luck here. That is awful. Right when she was starting to make a turn for Damage Control, kind of making this baby face turn a little bit here against Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark's new faction. And I had high hopes for Dakota Kai. I know she's gonna miss a couple of months. This is huge. She's gonna have to go through surgery. I want to see her come back once when the WWE finally introduces mid card title. Sorry, excuse me, mid card titles for the women's division, like the women's Intercontinental or the women's United States. So definitely think when she comes back. Not too sure. She's probably going to. I don't know how long Damage Control is going to last. Last night we kind of hit on talking about Dakota Kai for a little bit, and then I got a chat saying that Julia could take her spot. That is probably best case scenario. That's probably the best thing to do. Also, Asuka coming back as well. She's coming back from an injury. She could potentially be coming back to Damage Control to do to kind of kind of make us, kind of stay her claim within Damage Control. Because once when Bailey kind of got kicked out, you had Io Sky, lose her championship against Bailey at WrestleMania 40. I don't know. It just seemed like it was all downhill. It kind of seemed like they were going to break up, but they didn't. So next we have John Cena will be helping WWE transition into Netflix. Also, he also, gave his plans for post WWE and says he will remain a brand ambassador for WWE, which is great for WWE. Obviously, John Cena is a huge star. He's a philanthropist. He's granted the most wishes from the Make a Wish Foundation. He's a great dude. 1,010%. He's an amazing. He's a great actor. He's funny as hell. It's crazy. You've seen him in Vacation Friends 1 and 2. Seen him in Blockers. I've also seen him in, even if it's like a serious, well, semi-serious kind of movie, like the Transformers, I think he was in Bumblebee. He was in Bumblebee, and I think and he was with the Fast and Furious franchises. And he's just, I don't know, he's just a great dude. Just a great person to be around, a great person to work with. 1,010% wish John Cena the best. Glad he's still going to be, hanging around WWE after he hangs up his boots. All right, and lastly, MJF shares feelings about Shane McMahon potentially joining AEW. And he's for it. He says that Shane McMahon is a megastar. I think for him and AEW would be beneficial for both of them, because I feel like it would get, some good ratings, bring a different creative mind to AEW. So, it's kind of crazy how MJF, I thought he was gonna sound off. I thought he'd be like, you know what, Shane McMahon doesn't belong here. Maybe to keep kayfabe, maybe that would have been pretty badass. But I don't know. With Shane McMahon possibly going to AEW, I think it'd be interesting. It would be interesting. I'm gonna admit it. The fact that he tried to come back to WWE to wrestle kind of brought up a lot more questions than it did answers. I could see him come to AEW, kind of be like a Don Callis, but if you mess with him too much, he's gonna roll up his sleeves and take some guys out himself. I could see something like that happening. Maybe he brings in, or maybe he creates a new faction to take down this new elite. Like Tony Khan comes out in the promo. He's like, there's only one person I know who could take down, miserable people, or if I, and then all of a sudden you hear Shane McMahon. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be interesting to see if he keeps his here comes the money. It'd be kind of interesting to see if he keeps his theme song there. So, MJF is all for Shane McMahon coming to All Elite Professional Wrestling. So you guys should be open to it. I'm just kidding though. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into my show. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here telling you guys have a beautiful night. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok/X. TikTok. I said TikTok twice. TikTok, Facebook for more content and updates. Like I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, follow the other podcasts as well. We got Nelson with basketball. We have Tommy with college football. We have 2 football podcasts with the NFL coming up. We have the GSMC football podcast with Kenneth. We also have the GSMC Chip Shot football podcast with my man Manny. We also have we have a fantasy sports show. Check it out. I'm terrible at fantasy sports, so I'm gonna have to watch my boy Chris Shepard on the GSMC Fantasy Sports podcast. Can't wait to watch that. It's gonna be awesome. We got Jeremy, we got TJ in turn, covering all the sports from hockey to baseball, sometimes the Olympics. When these guys cover some stuff, they bring you guys the best content, known to man. They're definitely in terms of entertainment. I watch these guys' podcasts every single chance I have. And it's just nice. Sometimes, I can only listen to Colin Cowherd and, Stephen A. Smith, and I can only listen to them so many times. So I'm like, okay, like it's just the same stuff, like over and over again. You want a different perspective in the world of sports entertainment industry, make sure you tune in to the GSMC Sports Network. Well, definitely, like I said, and you subscribe, it is the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you guys will never, ever, ever, ever regret subscribing to our network. So, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday night. I will see you tomorrow on Thursday. Get some sleep, stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.